Now, let us observe how can we calculate momentum when the body velocity changes due to the action of a force. Consider a body of mass m, initially moving with a velocity u. By the application of force F, its velocity changes to v. Then automatically what happened? The initial velocity is mu, which is nothing but p initial momentum. By the application of the force F, what happened? Its velocity changes. Its velocity changes means its magnitude, direction also changes. That final velocity becomes mv, which is nothing but p phi naught. Let theta be the angle between the initial and final velocities by the action of the external force F. In such cases, how to calculate the change in momentum? Mind it, momentum is a vector quantity. That's why we have to find out along with the direction only. Now, we have change in momentum delta p is equal to p final minus p initial. While we need what is the magnitude, then this can be written as the magnitude of p final minus p initial, which is nothing but square root of p I square plus p f square minus 2 p I and p f cos theta, where theta is the angle between the initial and final directions of that body. Why its direction changes? Application of the force F, its direction changes. Let theta be the initial and final momenta of the body. In such cases, we can calculate what is the magnitude of the change in momentum using the vector law. It's nothing but from vectors addition we have magnitude of A and B. Magnitude of A plus B is equal to square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Similarly, it is nothing but magnitude of Pf minus Pi. This is just like magnitude of P minus Q, square root of P square plus Q square minus 2PQ cos theta. In the same way, we can calculate what is the change in the momentum. And very important thing is, mind the important point, the change in momentum is in the direction of the applied force, right? Now, let us study how to calculate the change in momentum in one more case. Here we are considering different cases where we have to measure the change in momentum. Projectile motion, the motion of a body in a plane. In the chapter, we derived at very good and very important for state board syllabus, intermediate examination. What is that? Show that the path of a projectile is parabola. Be careful, it's a very, very important question which is repeatedly asking in the previous questions. It's not exaggerated to say there is no examination, no year where this question was not included in the question paper. Very, very important. We have clear idea what is the path of the projectile. It's a parabola. Parabola means, see, this is parabola. When a body is projected with a certain angle theta, where theta is other than 90 degrees, that means then the body will like to move in this direction. This is called parabolic motion. This is parabolic motion. Now see, this is the initial position of the body. Its velocity acts in this direction. Let u be the velocity of this particle and m be the mass of this particle. At any instant of time, momentum can be resolved into two components. One is horizontal component and the second one is vertical component. Let us suppose it is the highest point. Can you guess what are the horizontal and vertical components of this one? Observe carefully. Here there is no vertical motion and there is no chance for vertical component of momentum. If it has vertical velocity, it would have traveled to some more heights. Since it is the maximum height, what we can say? It is having only horizontal component of velocity. That means it has only this one only. Coming to final, that means here, if we consider once again what happened, it has a horizontal velocity as well as vertical component of velocity, but the only difference is, for example, if you take this one as mu cos theta, here it is mu cos theta, and once again here also it is mu cos theta. The upward motion, if you consider this one as mv sin theta, and here it is in the opposite direction, minus mv sin theta, minus mv sin theta, because they are moving, one is moving against to gravitation and one is moving towards gravitation. That's why the sign should be opposite. If you apply negative sign here and automatically this comes to positive sign here, then what about in this case? In this one there is no such quantity, because the velocity component at the maximum height becomes equal to 0. Since the velocity is no component of momentum in this case. So how to calculate the change in momentum in three different cases? Here, for example, if we consider what is the change in momentum at the highest point, if it is your question, what is the total momentum at this one? Mu cos theta. This is final. What is the vertical component? Mu sin theta. So what is the change in momentum? Final momentum minus the initial momentum. That means mu cos theta minus of mu cos theta plus mu sin theta. Then automatically then you will get cancel these two. Mu sin theta is the answer in vertical component of velocity. In other case, okay, once again, at the highest point I am taking, what is at the highest point? At the highest point, P final minus P initial, it is nothing but change in momentum. What is P final? What is P final? You have mu cos theta minus what is initial? Horizontal plus vertical you have this. It is mu sin theta and horizontal component mu cos theta, which is nothing but mu cos theta minus mu sin theta, and once again plus into minus mu cos theta. Then mu cos theta and mu cos theta gets cancelled. The net answer is mu sin theta. This is a change in momentum when the projectile is at the highest point. Okay. Now, what will be the change in momentum between the starting and ending points? Starting, ending point. In the previous case, in the starting and whatever that at the highest point. In the initial, at the initial, once again this is same. Observe carefully, no confusion, it is a very simple thing. Initially what it have? Horizontal component mu cos theta, vertical component mu sin theta, mu sin theta, and finally it is nothing but minus mu sin theta, it is vertical component, mu cos theta as this. What is the change in momentum? The formula for final momentum is nothing but see this one, minus mu sin theta plus mu cos theta. This is final momentum minus mu sin theta plus mu cos theta. This is initial momentum. See, after calculation we have mu sin theta plus mu cos theta. Since negative sign is there, be careful while doing calculation part. Mu sin theta with negative sign, minus into plus, minus mu cos theta. Then these two terms gets cancelled. Plus mu cos theta minus mu cos theta gets cancelled. Then minus mu sin theta and one more minus mu sin theta, which results to 2 mu sin theta. This is the change in momentum of that particle. That means, as usual, this negative sign indicates that the final momentum is opposite to the initial. What is the initial? Initial is vertically up, vertical component is. Finally, it is downwards. Observe, while resolving the momentum into two rectangular components, here the arrow mark is upside because it is ascending. It is ascending. After this, what happened? Its vertical component of velocity, hence momentum becomes 0. Whereas its horizontal velocity continues the same till now. Here also it is having a mu cos, horizontal component same, but vertical component of velocity gets reversed. See, here it is vertically upwards, here it is vertically downwards. That is why final momentum minus mu sin theta plus mu cos theta, the sum of these two, and minus initial momentum pi means mu sin theta plus mu cos theta. Since negative sign is in front of the bracket, the signs gets changed. Mu cos theta minus mu cos theta, horizontal components gets cancelled. The net resultant is minus 2 mu sin theta. This is the change in momentum when a projectile completes its motion from initial point to the ending point, which is called striking the ground. That's all. This is the change in momentum in case of a parabola. Now I am going to measure the change in momentum in case of a body moving in a circular path. Consider a body describing circular motion. It is moving along the circumference of the circle with a velocity v, whose mass is given as m, and it is moving with a velocity v. At any instant of time, its velocity is represented by the tangent drawn at that point. That means it acts tangentially. It is the direction of the velocity. When the body is at v, its velocity is given along this tangent. And when it is at the point C, its velocity is along the line. It is along the tangent to this. For example, here what is the change in momentum between the positions A and B, and this is the radius vector, this is the radius vector. How these two are acting? These two are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular. Let the momentum at this point A is mv, and when it is at this point, it is mv. Both are acting, making an angle 90 degrees to each other. Two momenta are acting mutually perpendicular to each other. This vector and this vector, these two are mutually perpendicular to each other. Since v is the velocity, mv is the momentum and me is the momentum, which is represented by p and p again. The resultant is given by p dash is equal to, for two mutually perpendicular, p square plus p square, which is nothing but square root of 2p. Square root of 2 and p. For example, if we consider the position of C here, C, what is the change in momentum C? This is in this direction, it is simply, it is opposite to this one. It is opposite to this one. So totally this becomes final momentum is minus mv, initial momentum is mv, and these two are acting in the opposite direction. The resultant is given by minus 2mv. This is quantitatively nothing but minus 2p, minus 2p. This negative sign indicates the change in momentum is opposite to the initial direction, which is generalized by, for example, here it is 90, in the second case it is 180. Other than these two, for any value of theta, for any value of theta, we can consider the change in momentum as 2mv sin theta by 2. It's very useful while doing problems in JEE mains as well as in NEET examinations also. Let us check whether it satisfies this condition. Here it is 90. 90 by 2 means sin 45. Sin 45 means 1 by root 2. Root 2 and 2 gets cancelled. 2 root 2p. This is the right answer. Yes, this is okay. And in this case it is 180. 180 by 2 means sin 90. Sin 90 means 1. It is nothing but 2 mv. Yes, again it is in good agreement this with the value. It's very important and shortcut technique while doing change in momentum in object written questions. Now let's go to next item. After finishing Newton's laws of motion, let's select Newton's third law. Every reaction there will be equal and opposite reaction. For every reaction there will be equal and opposite reaction. Important thing is action and reaction never acts on the same body. In the same way, Newton's second law states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is direct to the external force. Once again, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the external force acts on the body. These laws leads to verify the law of linear momentum. You know, mass and its velocity. Now we are going to verify what is the total momentum of a system. Is there any change in the momentum of the system when there is no external force? This is under title Law of Conservation of Momentum, which is nothing but Law of Conservation. Law of conservation of momentum. Exclusively it is linear momentum. Linear. In the coming chapters we have one more momentum, that is angular momentum. That's why I am mentioning it specially. Linear. Law of conservation of linear momentum. Before going to that, so what is the definition of linear momentum? See very carefully, get it into mind, be serious. It is of writing examination to grab the attention of the examiner. Start to textual language. See how I am starting. What is the question? State law of conservation of momentum. So I prefer like this. According to the law of conservation or law of conservation states that the total momentum of an isolated system of particles is a constant. One law of conservation of momentum states that the total momentum of interacting particles of an isolated system. Be careful. What do you mean by isolated? There is no external force affects the internal momentum, which is called isolated system of particles. It is nothing but when no external force acts on a system, the total momentum of the system remains constant. Both are same. As you wish, you can express. Once again, but be alert, what is the difference between these two? The total momentum of an isolated system of particles remains constant, or when there is no external force, the total momentum of system of particles remains constant. What do you mean by this remains constant? At any instant of time or after any number of impacts, any number of collisions, the total momentum, if we measure, it will be same in all cases. Such is called total momentum remains constant. Now, let's consider a simple example. See, this is best example. It's a pistol problem. Initially, the bullet is inside the gun. The bullet is inside the gun. When it was triggered, you know what happens? The bullet comes out, it delivers with a certain velocity basing on the power of the gun. This is called initial and this is after. According to Newton's third law, when the bullet was fired from a gun, the gun exerts some force on the bullet. At the same time, according to Newton's third law, the bullet also exerts a certain force on the gun. For example, if the force of the bullet by the gun is taken as action, the force exerted by the bullet on the gun is the reaction, taken as a reaction. So, I will repeat once again. What is the force exerted? What is the force exerted by the gun on the bullet? Let us suppose it is FB, force on bullet. What is the force exerted by the bullet on the gun? Let us suppose it is Fg. According to Newton's third law, if this is action and this is considered as a reaction, what is the relation between these two? Action must be equal but in opposite to the reaction. That means Fb, force on the bullet, it is by whom? By the gun. It is equal to force on the gun by the bullet, Fb minus Fg. Now, Fb minus Fg, coming to this is nothing but Fg plus Fb is equal to 0. What do you mean by this? The total force becomes equal to 0. And one more important thing is, the force exerted on the bullet and the gun, they are during the same time. Let delta t be the time in both the cases. That means this is acting on the bullet for a time delta t, and the bullet exerted force on the gun by the same time. That means we can write the same as Fb bullet is equal to Fg. Since time is same on either, Fb into delta t. What is delta t? The time of action of force. That means this is delta t. It is equal to minus Fg into delta t. But force into time is nothing but the impulse. Force into time is nothing but the impulse, which is nothing but the change in momentum. That means Fb into delta t is called Pb. Pb simply momentum of the bullet is equal to momentum of the gun with the negative sign. Because force into time, it is nothing but impulse, which is equal to change in momentum. That's how we can write this one as Pb and Pg, which implies Pg plus Pb is equal to 0. Momentum of the gun plus momentum of the bullet is equal to 0. If you observe carefully, let us consider the initial position before firing the bullet. Both the gun and the bullet are at rest. That's what is the total initial momentum of this system? That is 0. Hence, we can conclude that total momentum before impact is equal to total momentum after impact. Hence, the law of conservation of momentum is said to be verified in this case. What is the statement? The total momentum remains conserved. Total momentum is conserved. The total momentum before impact is equal to total momentum after impact. That's it. Let's go for one more example. So, from the above observation, be ready to attempt the numerical questions using the above concept. When a bullet is fired from a gun, the gun pushes the bullet forward. At the same time, we have to mind one thing, the bullet also pushes the gun. That is called recoil effect, recoil of the gun. Number of problems both in board examinations as well as in competitive examinations will find. See, the question pattern will be like this. You see, this is gun. Of course, I am not artist. See, this is gun, and initially the bullet is inside the gun. This is before impact. After impact, what happened? See, this is again the position of the gun. Now, this bullet was delivered. This comes out. So, in this case, mass of the gun capital M and mass of the bullet small m, they are together. As a result, capital M plus small m is the total mass. But here the bullet moves forward, and whereas the gun recoils back. Small v be the velocity of the bullet, and capital V be the velocity of the gun whose mass is capital M. According to law of conservation of momentum, the total momentum before impact is equal to total momentum after impact. If we consider that, total momentum before impact is nothing but capital M plus small m. Initially, this system is at rest, that's why this is 0. This is equal to after impact. For example, if we ascertain sin to this problem, sin to the velocity, for example, the motion of the bullet takes place in the forward, it is positive. The recoil gun, it takes negative sign. That's why it is nothing but capital M into minus V plus small m into, it is nothing but V. Totally, capital M V is equal to small m into small v. Using this relation, we can calculate any one of the given quantity. This means what is the velocity of the bullet, what is the recoiling. If we need recoiling velocity, say recoiling velocity V is equal to mv by capital M. That's how this we can calculate recoiling velocity. Now, let us try to verify law of conservation of linear momentum in case of one dimensional elastic collision. What do you mean by collision? If two bodies hits against each other, large force acts for short interval of time, that is called collision. That impact is called collision. Consider two spheres A and B having masses m1 and m2 moving along a straight line on a horizontal plane with velocities u1 comma u2. Here u1 is greater than u2. u1 is greater than u2. So, very interesting thing, if we didn't mention this condition u1 is greater than u2, collision is not possible forever. For example, if it is this body is moving with greater velocity, say then it cannot chase and come into contact. So, it is must, this condition is must. u1 is greater than u2. After some time, these two collide, and the force of contact between these two exists for a small interval of time, delta t. Delta t is the contacting time between the spheres A and B. After collision, what happened? Consider these two are moving in the same direction along the same line with velocities v1 and v2 respectively. I think you are clear now. Simply speaking, u1, u2 are the initial velocities. After collision, they are moving with v1 and v2 velocities along the same straight line. Now, using Newton's laws of motion, how can we derive a law of conservation of momentum? What is our job? Total momentum before impact, I mean here total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. This thing we have to derive using Newton's laws. What is Newton's third law statement? For every action, there will be equal and opposite reaction. Good. Here, what is action and what is reaction? When these two collide, the ball, the sphere A exerts some force on B. Be careful. It's a very logical thinking. So don't try to back this. It's a derivative part. It's a brain work. When it hits the ball B, some force is exerted by A on B. When force is exerted, what happened? According to Newton's second law, it causes a change in momentum. So, because of this A, the momentum of B changes. At the same time, according to Newton's third law, when A exerts some force on B, definitely B also exerts equal amount of force, but in opposite direction. Anyhow, it also causes the change in momentum of the sphere A. Now, I am going to find what is the change in momentum before and after impact. If we prove this, the law of linear momentum is said to be verified. Now, for this, the force acting by A on B is taken as action. The force acted by B on A is called reaction. Let us consider these two. What is the force acted by A on B? I am taking it as force F1. F1. It is nothing but change in momentum. Change in momentum of B by rate of which what is the time, that is delta t. Okay. Now see this, what is this F1? It is nothing but change in momentum of B. What is the initial momentum of B? m2 u2, its initial momentum. After this, what happened? m2 v2. So what is the change in momentum means? m2 v2 minus m2 u2 divided by what is the time of contact? Delta t. Delta t. Now see, what is the force exerted by B on A? This is nothing but F2. F2 is nothing but, can you guess, change in momentum of A by the time of contact, because this quantity gives rate of change of momentum, which is equal to force according to Newton's second law. This implies F2 is equal to, what is the change in momentum of A? What is the initial momentum of A? Its mass and velocity, the product m1 u1. What is the final momentum? m1 v1. What is the change in momentum? It is nothing but m1 v1 minus m1 u1 by in what time? This is delta t. Are you ready? According to Newton's third law, these two forces, so called action and the reaction, are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. That's why I am going to write the same as this F1 is equal to minus F2. Action is equal to and opposite to the reaction. If we compare these two, we got m2 v2 minus m2 u2 by delta t is equal to m1 v1 minus m1 u1 by delta t. Now this delta t gets cancelled. m1 v2 minus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 minus m1 u1. Here the condition is we have to apply the negative sign also. Then net we have m2 v2 minus m2 u2 is equal to minus m1 v1 minus of minus, this becomes plus m1 u1. Getting the similar terms, that means initial velocities to the same side, what we have is, see this one m2 v2 and this one comes up plus m1 v1 is equal to, already m1 u1 is there, take this minus m2 to this side, got m2 u2. You observe carefully, it is nothing but total momentum after collision is equal to total momentum before collision, because m1 u1 initial momentum of A, m2 u2 initial momentum of B, their sum means the total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision, hence it is in good agreement with law of conservation of momentum. So law of conservation of is said to be verified in one dimensional collisions, elastic collisions.